Now, right now, come with me. Come on, follow me. Here we go. Okay, well, so now you know what to do. Okay. Well, Tony, how are you?
I'm okay, Mr. Kaufman. How you doing?
I'm okay. Where are you appearing lately?
Well, I'm appearing in Reno and Tahoe, the Shoes and Socks Lounge in Tahoe, and then next week I go to Reno.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, I'll tell you, and then I'll do the Bob Hope golf tournament.
Well, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, that's good. Good, wood.
What?
Wood.
What does that mean?
I just said good, I said wood.
So?
That's my famous rhyming.
Rhyming?
Yeah, the famous rhyming.
Oh, what is that?
Well, that's you give me a word and I'll rhyme it for you.
Oh, I see. You want me to give you a word?
Yeah, you just give me any word, I'll rhyme it for you.
Okay, how about boat?
Boat, coat. How you like that?
That's it?
Yeah, that's it. That's my famous rhyming. That's it.
That's great, Tony. Let's give him a big hand. Tony.
That's it. Thank you very much. That's I have to do my ABCs. You want to hear me do my ABCs?
All right, well, go ahead.
Okay, A, B, C, D, F, G. H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P. Q, R, S, T, U, V. W, X, Y, Z. Now you heard my ABCs. Tell me what you think of me. All right, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Come on, that's it. Thank you. Thank you.
Very good, Tony. Okay. Very good. Yeah, okay, well, I think we're going to get on to our guests now. And
Yeah, okay.
okay, here, Tony, you just have a seat, and you just sit there. You're welcome to stay for the rest of the show. And here you go. You just sit down.
All right, I'm going to make myself comfortable. Make myself at home.
That's right. You just make yourself at home.
That's right. I'm going to tell you something, Kaufman. Anytime during the show, if I catch any of the guests here shooting a bull, I catch anybody in a lie or untruth, with phony baloney, let me tell you something, they're going to have to answer to me.
Okay, okay. Well, we'll watch it then.
Yeah, that's right. You tell me you better watch it now.
Okay. Well, my first guest, ladies and gentlemen, is a very popular young comedian. She appears on all the major television shows, including The Tonight Show, and very frequently she's been seen on the David Letterman Show. She also has a special now running on Showtime called Night of a Dozen Stars, and she's a favorite with audiences on stages all across the country. She appears very frequently in Atlantic City and is a successful writer of movies and television, including the Rodney Dangerfield special and a variety series for NBC. Please welcome Elaine Boozler. Okay. So how are you?
Oh, fine.
Uh-huh.
Nice audience, real nice.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah,
Thanks for
they're
coming.
great. Oh, thank you very much for having me. I haven't seen you in a while.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah, a long time,
I
actually.
know, it's been a long
It's
time.
been years, I think.
What have you been doing all this time?
Working, you know.
Uh-huh.
Working on the road, you know,
Yeah,
watching
yeah.
comedians come and go. And
Yeah, you know, Elaine and I used to go together about up till about 8 years ago for about 2 years.
two and a half.
2.5. Right.
That
And
half
that
year.
was when we both lived in New York City. Have you been to New York?
I've been there a lot.
Yeah.
It was fun. I think about those days sometimes when we were really struggling, and then,
Yeah.
you know, you made it real big way before me, and
Thank you.
didn't really help me. But,
What interesting things have
have I been
you
doing?
seen? Yeah, in New York. Have you been in?
I ran into an old friend of ours. Remember Ed? I ran into him, and he's doing real good. He's married now. You know,
Yeah,
I went out with him after.
I know.
you.
I
Well,
remember you went up to the Catskills. Did you? What did he do in the Catskills?
Oh,
when
that
you
job?
went there? Yeah, for that
well,
job.
it was very, very old people, and
Yeah.
he didn't look at the audience.
Well, he
before
used to do
came out.
material about.
He did a lot of
about-
death material.
Yeah, about death.
But usually, you look at the audience and
So
come
a
out
comedian
and
did
decide,
about death.
you know what you would do, but he didn't look. So he came out thinking it was like a young, nice audience like this, and he came out and started talking about all these senile old women in his building who like would take out their teeth and wipe them on his jacket and stuff. He's a brilliant comedian. He's just brilliant. But anyway, people started to cry, you know, and then he was talking about funerals, and everyone had just lost somebody in the last week, you know, and because they were so old, and so it was really a very depressing job.
Now, I remember when you went up there. That was I stayed at your apartment, and you said you were going away with your parents. Remember, this is about towards the end of the second year, and you said that you were going to go away with your parents, and I could stay in your apartment because I lived on Long Island and she lived in New York City, and I wanted to stay in the city. So so I found out that you had gone with him, and then I called you at your house, and you were, and you wanted to break up. I remember.
Well, I think that about that time, I think we both were wanting to break up, right?
Well, actually, sometimes I would wake up in the morning and I'd think, I'd like to tell you that we're going to break up. I'd say, well, I've got to tell her tonight we're going to break up.
Really?
Yeah. And then that night I'd get up to you and then you'd say...
Like towards the end of the 2.5 years or during, the...
A lot of times, because we were constantly breaking up and going back together. And I would say, oh, I'm going to tell her tonight we're going to break up. And then I'd get to you and you'd say, Andy, we've got to break up. And I'd say, no, no. Because I didn't want to...
Well,
I
also, I was
person.
the only one earning any money for us, and so you couldn't really leave, I guess.
That was because I was performing every night in the nightclubs, and you didn't get paid in those days for, for 3 years. You didn't get paid. But Elaine had a job. You were hostessing at
7 nights a week.
Improvisation in New York. And so she had the only one of the two of us that would make any money.
So I supported us.
Yeah.
And then you made it in Taxi, and this is the first time I've seen you in about...
What kind of things did we do?
6 years. Remember when you tried to get Chris to fix you up with that little ballet dancer?
What? Who?
What's her name? The one he's married to now?
Oh, that, yeah.
So you always
What about that? I don't
so
remember anything
you were
about
always
that.
trying to, and then with the, all the spiritual stuff, I worked where they served liquor, so you didn't want to kiss me goodnight, and then you went out with people on heroin after that. I mean, I don't know. It was just, I mean, I think you put me through a lot of stuff. Just a lot of stuff that I think I mean, I'm surprised that you asked me to do the show with you, quite frankly.
No, that's because I've known you for...
I never told anybody that I went out with you. I
know,
never,
and that's...
because I thought that you had made it real big, and I didn't want to be one of those women who makes it on some guys. So, I wanted to really be independent.
You didn't have to worry about that, but I asked you to do the show because I figure you're an old friend. I mean, we went out for 2.5 years, and it's been 10 years that we've known each other.
Right.
And I thought we're still friends.
We are friends.
And we can work together.
Yeah, I think so. It's the show has no budget or anything. I understand that, but what about like
You're still
Taxi
gonna
with
get
all
paid.
that budget, and you never asked me to do anything on that?
I don't have any power over there. I only am an actor. I'm just hired as an actor on this show.
I know.
I don't have any, I can't tell them who to hire.
Well, I just...
As a matter of fact, I wrote a letter to the producers before it went on the air and I recommended you for the part. And I recommended you for the part.
You did?
Yeah.
I don't know. I just,
Well, okay. I think we're going to have to cut to commercial now. So we'll see you we'll be right back. Okay.
All clear.
I hated that. I can't believe
I hated it too. Why didn't you prepare more?
Because...
I'm trying to ask you lead-in questions so that you could...
Well, I didn't. The first thing you say when I come in here is that you went out with me. I mean, I'm not expecting that. I hated it. And then this, I mean,
Well, I was asking you, I have a list of questions that you gave me the other day. I was
Yeah, so you didn't
talk
even
about
lead
the
into
bums in
them.
New York City.
Yeah.
I said,
So where
what have you
were
been
the
doing?
bums in New York City? You didn't
I
even
start
bring
talking
up
about New York City, and you start talking about the other guy in the Catskills.
You brought up the Catskills 16
I have shrinks.
times.
I have shrinks
Why
written
did
down.
you say shrinks? I can't sit here and interview myself, too. I mean, it's too...
No, but you're supposed to wait for my lead-in questions.
So why didn't you ask me anything?
I was trying to, and you got out of it.
This was horrible. This was so terrible.
No, it wasn't.
I can't believe it, and I really don't believe that you don't remember reading the
I don't think
comics
it's as
to
good as
me.
it could have been.
I don't think it was good at all.
Because you had all this pressure on you. You think that you were supposed to go someplace and start a fight or something, start some kind of an argument.
Why did you have to bring up the minute I came out here that we used to go out?
Because I was going to do that later on. I thought it would be appropriate to do it in the beginning.
It was terrible.
Well, I think it was terrible. It wasn't terrible. I just don't think it was as good as it could have been.
I think it was terrible.
Yeah, well, that's because you're so stubborn and hard-headed about the whole thing. I mean, I have all these questions. Bums, you're supposed to talk about the bums in New York City. Then you talk about shrinks, how you went to a shrink because you were the only person you knew who would go up to a bum and ask them if they need money. And then you talk about why you don't talk about shrinks. Because comedians, those are one of the subjects that comedians don't talk about. And then the no-nos in comedy, that's shrinks leading to death. Death is another no-no in comedy. Who's the best comedian at death? The guy you went to the Catskills with. Then you talk about the Catskills, the whole thing in the Catskills. Then you talk about the cake and the train.
Opened with
then
the
you talk about.
Catskills.
Then you talk about. You opened with Catskills.
You opened with the
Then
Catskills.
comedians. Then you then talk about the time I flipped out at Channel 5 in New York, and they had to take me away with the security guards, and the whole Bill Boggs episode.
Do I have a list of paper in front of me? You have a whole list of subjects
so why
in front
didn't
of
you
you.
just
So why
wait?
didn't you lead
I
into
led you into the
anything?
New York City. I said, "What have you been to New York City lately? Have you?" And you changed the subject.
I did not change the subject.
Yes, you did. You changed the subject. I'm sitting here trying to lead you into New York City. I'm sitting here not trying to lead you into New York City. I'm trying to lead you into the okay, we're back. And thank you. My next guest is, actually, my next guest is Dr. Alex Shore. And he has written a book called Nutrition and Your Hair. He has a PhD in nutrition and biochemistry from the University of Chicago. And he claims in his new book that he can grow hair. Okay?